Good evening, guys, and welcome along to Limitless DxT coverage of LFR TNR Round 12, the Chinese Grand Prix. We're at the halfway stage of the season, and I'm, of course, here with Lee once again. How you doing, Lee?
I'm doing really good. That's looking forward to this race. It's a good track. Always did quite like this one.
This is definitely one of Lee's absolute favourites, and it's up there with me. I wouldn't say it's my favourite or like top 5, but it's definitely, I'd say top 8. Let's go top 8. But anyway, we're going to get into qualifying 1 in just a few seconds' time. We're just waiting for the session to load in. So it looks like we've got to start off with a dry session. As you can see, we've got a full grid of 20 drivers. We've got about 4 reserves, I think, in tonight. So I think 16 full-time drivers for tonight, Lee. And hopefully it will be a cracker tonight.
Yeah, just I was waiting to be quite a good race, I would say. Seen some of the reserves coming in and filling up some spaces, so see what their pace is like against all the others around here.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about some of those reserves. Of course, we've got a Pyro in tonight in the Alpha Tauri, and he really did perform well on Sunday night at Bahrain in the second race. So it'll be interesting to see if he can be up with the top runners. The other reserves we have in tonight, of course, we've got Monday night commentators racing tonight. Curly and me, when I say commentators, are time being commentators on a Monday night. So both Meep and Curly are racing. We've got CRB Gods, who's CRX Gods, who's joined us, who's as you can imagine good friends with CRX Mars. You can see at the top of our screens at the minute in the Renault, so he's taking the racing point, is Gods. What other we've got? Oh, of course, we've got the Pink Spartan, who's been here a few times this season, reserving for Panda tonight, as well as Dopey Lemons, who's back again for the second time, I think, in the McLaren this time out. But that's the only newcomer we've got this week, Lee, is Gods.
Yeah, so good to see some fresh faces, seeing what I think things are going to come out like.
We'll have to see. Sorry, Lee, I'm just going to change my audio mix slightly. There we go, that'll be a bit better.
We're just on board with that Stomper here, as we're just starting the lap, one out.
He was the first man to start that. So do you want to take us around the lap quickly, Lee? So I just sort out before the championship standings.
He's coming around turn 1, he takes his wide end right out there, coming into turn 3. Using as much curb as he could, cutting a wee bit out there, late on the brakes, a little bit of lock up there, easy on the throttle there, just to watch. There's a low traction zone. Coming around here, you're getting plenty of grip here. Big lock up there, it's that double left-hander. Getting out wide onto the curb spaces, straddling it there. This is a crucial part because this is a big straight here. You want to be trying to get a good run down here. As he's coming up to the DRS open. You see him going up to 205, 206 miles an hour, 207 before he hits the brakes. Get plenty of grip there on the exit of that hairpin. Coming around, could have just a bit more of the apex there, but that still took down 129.7.
So he's definitely set a pretty good benchmark for Q1 for a lot of the drivers. They are on fast laps in a minute. So quickly, as we're already somewhat into the session, we'll just go through the top 10 of Tuesday night racing. So we've got Dark Stomper in first place on 180 points and leading the championship by quite a bit now from Veloce Ayub in the Renault with 146 points. And third, his teammate Mars on 74 points, tied with fourth of Tim on 74 points also. And his teammate Buzzer Boy is in fifth on 65 points. There's definitely a championship fight there for the constructors between the Renaults and the McLaren. Seventh is Mitch in the Mercedes. H. Bosworth is eighth. Mitch has 46 points and 45 points for H. Bosworth. Judge Santi is in ninth in the Alpha Tauri on 43 points, and Beckett is in 10th with 37 points in the Alfa Romeo. And we'll just quickly go through the constructors' standings. 296 points for Renault. Of course, as I said all the time, Dark Stomper was driving for the Renault for the first few races of the season before the switch to Haas, so they collected those points on behalf of Dark Stomper. Haas are in second with 227. McLaren are in third with 151. Fourth is Ferrari with 133. Alfa Romeo is on 94 points in fifth. Sixth is Mercedes on 67. Seventh is Racing Point on 61 points. Williams is on 57 points in 8th place. 9th is Alpha Tauri on 45 points, and 10th is Racing Point Red Bull on 44 points. So as we've been talking about that, Lee, a load of times have come up on the board as we would have expected. So pretty close between the top two there. 1 minute 30 dead for Pyro in third. That's quite rare to see, Lee.
That's a pretty decent time, but it's pretty rare to see it just jump on like 90 seconds exactly. You never see that quite often.
No, you definitely don't. And so it's going to be interesting. We've got the two CRX lads in 5th and 6th with pretty similar times. But it's looking pretty close actually between a lot of these drivers. We're seeing a bit of confusion into the pit lane there between a Red Bull of Milan, Massimo, and Tim, I think it was. So I don't know if we've got any drivers really on laps. They're all coming in to the pits, Lee. I think maybe he's Mars on another lap here, along with his
He's just done a spinneroo there.
Oh, Mars, yeah, I just missed that. So we're just with Gods at the minute, new driver. See how he's doing. I think he's on another lap, so he's going to try and beat his 30.4. 6.9, sorry, and he's in 5th at the moment, splitting the two Renaults. So pretty long back straight here as you get to the DRS zone, about a quarter of the way down this straight. As Lee said before, getting up to about 207, 208 miles an hour before you hit the brakes at the 100-metre board. Get the car rolled in to the corner and try and be as wide on exit as possible. Get the car pulled over to the right-hand side, and as he comes into the pits anyway, it just seemed like he was on a bit of a lap there, Lee.
Yeah, it was, seemed like he was kind of going for it a bit there.
So we've got a driver on an outlap of Cons now. Just to give a little bit of a disclaimer to Cons, he's just bought a new wheel, so he won't be showing his usual pace for a few weeks, I suspect. And let's see how he does around China. Anyway, he might hook it up around China, and he doesn't. I think he invalidates out of the final corner. He doesn't actually. He was a little bit lucky there, Lee. I don't know if you're on board with him there.
Yeah, I was on board there, and he got lucky there.
As he takes a lot of the curb into turn 1. This is a very unforgiving corner, turn 1, and it's never ending. It just goes on forever and ever. And turn 2 is almost the same as that on the traction zone on exit. Gotta be super gentle with that loud pedal as we come down to the hairpin in sector 1. Turn 4, I think, is turn 4 there. And turn 5 was it turn 5 and this is turn 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, and coming in to turn 7, the two double left-handers. Careful here on traction and exit here. Don't straddle that curve on the outside too much as we're coming down towards this tricky left-hander here. A little bit uphill, off camber, and hasn't got a lot of grip. A lot of people try and cut the grass there on entry just to shorten the line a little bit, and onto the bank curve, which I think is a pretty nice corner, especially in modern day Formula 1. It does actually work quite well for overtaking into the hairpin.
Oh yeah, I mean, when you're coming off of that, you want to try and get as much speed as you could coming off of that, because with it being a big going straight, you can lost quite a bit of time.
As Cons, as you can see, he's still struggling to adapt to the wheel as he's not using all the road on exit, and he goes last in the standings at the moment with a 33.750. He's got enough time for another lap, and he might want to put a fresh set on the just to give him some chance to get out of the bottom 5. Curly is on a lap. Sunday night commentator, Monday night commentator in the Williams tonight, and we'll see how he does. Said he was struggling in practice. See if he can hook it together in qualifying. Took turn 5 and 6 alright. He's not got the line right for turn 7 though, and he gets a big kick of the old oversteer for good measure out of the corner, and he's really struggling. I think it's going to be a fight between Cons and Curly at the minute with this this lap. He's just trying to feel his way round the circuit at the moment, and we'll go and see how he does in a second. We'll stick with Fatality at the minute, Lee, who's been quite consistently up there in the top runners, but sometimes just slightly off the pace, I've noticed this season. Just a few seconds off most races.
Yeah, I mean, you've definitely got the pace there to get like right up there and get the podium, but it's like sometimes he's just been so unlucky at times. Like whether something's just not went his way, to be honest, and it's just hopefully things will turn around for him. We could start seeing him up there, possibly.
Well, it's saying Fatality, purple 2 sectors, and that wasn't too purple. And he almost hit the wall there, but he got out of it all right. He can get another lap in quite comfortably, probably I would imagine on the same tyres. As you see, Curly actually entered the pit lane and didn't complete his lap, potentially invalidated, or he just wanted to scrap it because it was a little bit messy, especially between turns 7 and 8. He would definitely agree on that one. Dopey Lemons is on a lap, as we're seeing him in the papaya orange McLaren, and he's coming round the banked curve on to this, I think it's a 1 kilometre back straight, and we potentially will see quite a lot of overtaking into this hairpin. It's definitely the best overtaking spot on the lap as he gets into the hairpin. He gets over to the right hand side quite early there, Leon X. It's starting to rain, Lee, in qualifying. I see raindrops on the camera, and I think some of these guys who have not set laps, Fatality of course has not set a lap, and he's on a lap right now, and I don't think the rain's coming down anywhere near hard enough to affect the grip for the time being. But he needs to get on with it to get a lap in. The Pink Spartan also hasn't got out there yet with 5 minutes remaining in the session, nor has Curly been able to set a lap. Saw him out on track just a few moments ago. I think he's just coming out the pits now. Pink Spartan is not out of the pits, but we'll go with Fatality, and this is going to be interesting. I think it's a dry race, Lee, is how quickly the drivers came out on track, but it was looking like a wet qualifying, and Fatality almost loses it out of the banking, was able to save it, but that's going to cost him valuable time. He may be able to get up into the top 15, but I think this is going to be pretty closely.
It could be. I mean, he's got that. Oh, he's a bit late on the brakes there. You know, the hairpin is really pushing. You've got to watch it. He's got damp on the track at the moment.
He takes the final corner pretty nicely. Is it nice enough to get him through? 16th! He's not through! Fatality, I think, is going to be out in Q1. And that's a bit of a shocker. I don't think the track is going to get any faster, Lee. If he may be able to get another lap in if the weather stays the same. But I can pretty safely say that his day might be over in qualifying.
I think so, to be honest. I mean, that's just unfortunate. I mean, the weather coming in and not being able to get out to settle up properly. And just pure unluckiness, to be honest.
It is very unlucky indeed, and I think you can almost tell with how quickly he's coming back to the pits. It's almost... It must be very frustrating. And, as I said, he's usually right up there, top 3, and certainly top 5 consistently every race he's partaked in LFR Tuesday Night Racing. But he's not going to be happy with this, and he's definitely, I can now safely say, as we see a Mercedes pointing the wrong direction at the banking, and DRS is now disabled, and Fatality is out in Q1. We see Curly on a lap, and we see Curly in the wall actually, as he's taken to doing some lawn mowing on this circuit, and something I don't think he definitely didn't intend, and those soft tyres are not going to work. But of course, Lee, there is still... Well, there isn't actually. I was going to say something that isn't true. It's the 19th and 20th can fight it out for position, but no one else can now.
Yeah.
So if Curly even sets this lap, he's going to go faster than the Pink Spartan, and Pink Spartan hasn't even come out the pit. So if Curly can just keep this on the road, he is going to gain 1 position, but it's a big amount of effort, Lee, for 1 place.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much sliding all over the place.
Don't cut the corner, Curly, because you'll invalidate. We're just watching Curly saying his lap, and he's been super tentative. It's a fact like he's on the throttle, which and he's needs to be extra careful with his throttle input. He's still putting on throttle. Get off that throttle, Curly, as he's coming round the banking now. This is definitely something I wouldn't want to be doing on these tyres. As you can get the throttle down a bit, Curly. It's all right. I don't know if it's going to just spin though. Actually, I say that as we just got just under a minute to go, and as you can see, we're on board with Curly, our Sunday night commentator, trying to set a lap on the soft tyres in these most certainly into conditions now, and he's really struggling to finish this lap, but he is going to finish it, and I think he's going to take 19th place as he comes round the final corner. Unfortunately for Curly, he's going to have to do another lap now as he's crossed the line with 30 seconds to go, and we're now going to have to watch Curly do another lap. Don't slow down, Curly, mate. You got some time to... we've got to be waiting for you to get... Oh, he's twitching and twitching. And Curly... might let him off with that, because he's the only person on track. But... don't retire on track, Curly, in the race. Don't do it. I'm not sure if he's listening, to be honest. He probably isn't. Anyway, that is the end of Q1. Dramatic end to Q1. The top 3 to finish in that session was Dark Stomper. What a surprise, Lee. With Velo in second. Third place was Pyro, and the bottom 5 that we're losing. The Pink Spartan is in 20th. Curly is in 19th, obviously, with that barn storming 2 minutes 41 on the soft tyres in wet conditions, as we just saw. Conroy T in 18th. 17th is Beckett, and Fatality is in 16th, which is a bit of a shocker going into Q2, Lee.
Yeah, it is like, I was expecting them to be up there a bit, but maybe it's just not his track, to be honest.
Maybe it's not his track. Maybe I think the conditions more caught him out than anything else. But we'll just have to see. I don't think, is the rain stopped, Lee? Looks like it's stopped.
I think so. I think it's just damp. I'm not sure.
But is it? So are we going to have a bit of a waiting game here, Lee?
I think we may have to just wait and see. I hear some engines getting fired up.
The only thing is, there is only 15 minutes in the session, and as Lee could tell you personally, it's always good to get a banker lap in, isn't it, Lee?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
especially on the especially on the inters, because free choice of tyre for the race, of course, if you set your Q2 time on the inters, because this could be perfect conditions for these drivers. Yeah, so exciting to see. The rain has stopped. I'm not sure, knowing this game, this rain won't stay too long, Lee. But of course, there isn't actually 20 drivers pounding around constantly, so maybe it won't dry up as quick as we think.
Possibly, possibly not. I think it might just be inters. So judging by that, I mean, it's only 15 minutes. It's not exactly 45, you know.
Yeah.
And like you said, there's not as much going around. Like lap after. Oh, as I see Mars just goes at the wee bit there.
These drivers have got to be careful. We are assuming, actually, if someone could put in the comments below what the race weather conditions are going to be, that'd be great. I'm assuming it's dry because we saw Dark Stomper come straight out of the pits, so I would, unless you didn't check, but I do know most people to check, or know people in the party who are going to check. So we have to see. It looks like a Racing Point is going to be the first driver to start their lap. We've got a comment come in there, Lee. Welcome.
Drink to go later, and race weather is dry. But it looks like there's more rain coming later on in qualifying.
Oh, well, that's interesting to see. Yellow flag, Sector 3, I think it's just a queue up of cars, Lee. I think that is just a big traffic jam at the end of that straight into the hairpin, quite a slow section. Yeah, as I was saying, welcome along to Limitless DxT coverage.
Love is fun. Right in the last corner, I'll let it go on his out lap.
Oh, this hasn't been a good day for some of the front runners. DRS is enabled, so some people on this lap, and crucially, there are only 2 DRS zones, and none of them have got to the major one yet, which I think H. Bosworth will be the first driver. Yellow flags all over the course at the minute, and it's starting to get pretty tasty in this qualifying session. And just on board with H. Bosworth coming down towards the left-hander at the start of Sector 3, into the right-hander, on to the bank curve, onto this 1 kilometre back straight, DRS straight, as he's fighting the car, getting the car around. And now onto the DRS straight. As I said, DRS has now been enabled. I'm not sure if it's time for dry tyres. We've seen a couple of drivers still waiting in the pit lane and not deciding to come out of the pit just yet. But we're just about to see H. Bosworth coming across the line, coming round the final corner. Track is drying up quite significantly, and I think it's going to be straight on to the... And I'm sorry, actually, Dark Stomper was the first driver to cross the line with a 1... Couldn't see that there just because of the time. 1:43. Some of the skies sometimes is not really great with the boards. 1:43.276, and we've got some times rolling in now. Tim in 4th, Tim in 3rd. Sorry, Velo in 4th. So that was a great time from Bosworth on the inters, but I got a sneaking suspicion there. we've just got enough time for 2 laps on the dry tyres, if it's just about time for the dry tyres. But is it dry enough for mediums, Lee?
I mean, well, Dresmack's out in the mediums at the moment, so I'm going to ride on board with him and see how things go. Seems to be struggling in the braking a little.
He has got a little bit of traffic ahead as well. We'll keep an eye on his times, but he's catching up to that interrunner of Velo, and he needs to get out of the way. He's got a driver behind on a lap, and he's definitely going to impede him. And I'm not sure if Velo's on a lap as well, but obviously he's just got nowhere near as much pace as he does. Dive out of the way now, but that was not great. And as you see, Drismic then goes wide into the left-hander at the start of Sector 3. Turn 9 as he went into 10, and then 11 down towards turn 12. As we've only got one driver on the dry tyres at the moment, the medium tyres, yellow banded tyres. 4 drivers to set laps at the moment on intermediate tyres. Big lock-up for Drismic into the hairpin as he's coming down to the final corner now. Left-hander, see how well it grips up on exit as he comes across the line. Where's he going to put him? 5-place grid penalty for Dark Stomper. He's most certainly not going to be happy with that, Lee. I don't know what happened to Drismic's time. Did he get invalidated? Or was he on an outlap?
I think he was on an outlap.
Didn't say outlap on my screen. Very strange.
Well, don't know then.
Oh. Anyway, he is on a lap now. Sorry, apologies about that. May have been me. May have been the game. I'm not too sure. I'll have to check back for that myself later. But anyway, it said he's on the medium tyres on his lap, and this is definitely a dry track now, Lee. There's no question.
Yeah, it's easy dry. So it looks like all these guys are going to have to come out again.
So you see the drivers with the fitted tyres right now, and Phoenix on an outlap on the soft tyres. Meep Show on the soft tyres also, just behind Phoenix, and so Pyro on the medium tyres. So we got actually starting to get a bit of a queue up, Lee, of drivers about to start their laps, as we got Dopey Lemons just come out of the pits on the medium tyres. Also 7.5 minutes remaining in this qualifying session as Drismic goes fastest, 10 seconds faster than Dark Stomper. But as you just said, Dark Stomper 5-place grid penalty, Lee, so he's got a little bit of work to do in the race.
Yeah, it's going to be unfortunate. It's going to wear him down. But I'm sure it's not going to. He's not going to let it dampen his spirits, and he's still going to pull through.
Pyro was just on the grass there on the exit of the hairpin. He's just starting his lap now. We've got all these drivers going on the mediums now. Some drivers are still fitted, still did their best times on the intermediate tyres. Looking at fitted tyres at the minute, as we are definitely sure everyone is going to set their fastest times on dry tyres, seeing as Drismic's time was 10 seconds faster. As we're seeing Pyro in the Alpha Tauri coming down into turn 5, just coming into turn 4, as he's coming into turn 5 and 6 now, and down towards 7. Got H. Bosworth ahead of him. Bit of traffic for Pyro. H. Bosworth needs to get out of the way, and Prompto, I'm not sure if he realised he was a bit of traffic. See the McLaren on the left hand side, nicely getting out of the way there as he takes the left-hander of turn 9 quite well into 10 and now 11, and got Carl just ahead of him. Got a good toe there, Lee, actually, I think, out of the hairpin, the banking.
Yeah, it did look like a wee bit of assistance from his teammate there.
He did get a little bit. 208 miles an hour when he hit the brakes, and he's getting a big bit of oversteer, bit of correction for the steering on exit and that's going to have cost him probably the time he gained from his teammate coming out of the final corner. Now, what's he going to do? 31 dead, 2.8 seconds faster than the Mercedes of Drismic, as you're seeing his teammate Carl go through. No tow for Carl, no favour returns from the reserve driver there. Interesting. As we're seeing Velo on a lap, Lee, and I'm guessing he's going to have a strong performance here. And of course, second place, if Dark Stomper does get pole position, will actually take pole position, and that will be interesting to see, Lee, if pole is actually taken or if it's taken by penalty.
Yeah, well, we've still got about, what, 15, 20 minutes left to go before we find that out.
Velo is just coming round the banking now and down this long straight, and we'll see what he can come up with on his lap as he's just coming down towards the hairpin. Now, great shot from that camera there, just seeing the Williams going off into the distance at the hairpin. Yellow flag, sector 1. I'm not sure if that's just a car going slowly out of the pit lane, and Velo to cross the line goes fastest, 30.5, smashes the next median time by half a second to Pyro. Let's see if any of these drivers, like Dark Stomper, CRX, goes fastest on the soft tyres, and good time from the Racing Point driver. Got some more times coming in. H. Bosworth setting a 31.878, Lee, and on the medium tyres as well. So this is their last laps for a lot of these drivers, I think, Lee. They're leaving it quite late in the day. I don't think they've got time to get round into the pits, especially the ones that are just crossing the line. Dark Stomper, I think he's just got enough time. He might just have enough time to get back out, but we'll see. He's in 11th place. This is a big shake-up in this qualifying session on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I mean, the weather's really played a part. As you see, Mars has just put in a 1 minute 30.921. He's 4/10 off second place. So let's see who else. So we've still got Micho and Phoenix, who are on an out lap. They've not set a time yet. We've got Ayub, who's just coming out of the pits now. We're going to have to see Dark Stomper get out of the pits real soon.
We are going to have to see him get out of the pit soon. We see Veloce coming on an out lap. We'll see if Dark Stomper comes out.
Yep.
He is coming out, but he's cutting this very finely, and if he has to get out of the way of cars on their laps, which he is of course obliged to do, he is cutting this very finely.
Yeah, he is. You don't want to be see H. Bosworth getting out his way. He must be done his lap.
So, would you go on, Lee?
I was going to say, I'm on board with Meat here.
Just take over a second there. I'll still listen to you. I'm just doing something. A second as Meep goes flying into the wall, and he loses his front wing. But I think has he just got away with that? I don't think he has actually. I think he's out. Is he out? No, he's not. He's not out. He's still going. That was a big accident from Meep Show there, and I think he now will be out in Q2. This has been a big shake-up in this qualifying session. Veloce Ayub is just starting lap, 55 seconds to go in this session. Dark Stomper is halfway down the back straight. I think he's cut this fine, but I think he's just about to make it. Still on those medium tyres. So if you take him around the lap with Dark Stomper, Lee, if you want to see if he gets through into... As you know, we'll go with Veloce first, Lee, actually, because he hasn't set a lap time yet.
You see, right, where is he? Coming up to 6 here, big swooping left here. Full on the power. Just coming down a couple of gears. Flinging it into the left there, not too much curb there on the exit. Coming up for the big. This left-hander here doesn't take as much apex there. It's the angles. I'm not sure if that's the best line there, but he's making it work. Coming down here. DRS is wide open now. Getting up to 205, 206 miles an hour, 207. Before he's on the brakes. Now gets good traction out of that hairpin there. It is a low traction zone. Comes through, nearly loses it out of the final corner. Goes third with a 1 minute 30.8.
See what Dark Stomper does though.
Yeah, he's on the back straight. DRS is wide open. Got 2 more corners to go. Locks up a little. Going into the penultimate corner there. Going into the final corner. Takes a lot of apex, uses a lot of curb on exit. Puts him third with a 1 minute 30.5.
Well, that is a great time from God to get himself into first place with our newcomer. He's definitely got to be happy with that, Lee.
Oh yeah, you're always going to be happy with that. Getting that's always going to be a boost to your confidence going into the race. Let's just see if he can carry it over into Q3. So we've got Gods in first place, he's on the softs. We've got Velo in second, Dark Stomper third, and Veloce in fourth. They're starting on the mediums. Mars and Massimo fifth and sixth. They're on the softs. Pyro, Tim, they're in 7th and 8th. Trismic and Phoenix 9th and 10th. Then we've got H. Bosworth in 11th, who just missed out. He's got a 5 position grid penalty, same as Dark Stomper. Carl in 12th place, Dopey Lemons in 13th, 14th was Rue, and 15th was Meat, who didn't set a time, unfortunately.
Well, that is unfortunate for me. He did have that incident at the end, towards the end of Q2, and we're just about to get into Q3 as Lee rounded off that order of Q2. So 12 minutes in this session. It's brightened up for Q3, so I don't think we may have some more rain. Did say maybe some rain coming, but it doesn't look like it for the minute, Lee.
Yeah, it is looking quite hot out there, so gonna have to wait and see. Could possibly come in later.
Well, we'll see if it does come along later. It hasn't got long to come in though, of course. It's got about, well, to make any kind of real effect, it's got to be here within about 8 minutes, which I highly doubt, actually.
Everybody's jostling about for position here at turn 1, 2, 3 here.
Maybe there is rain coming, because I don't know why people are going so slow. Some tactics are clearly being played here in qualifying. Interesting to see, actually. I don't know if what tactics Velo is playing here, but it's pretty interesting, slowing right down. And just letting some drivers through, I think. I think he just wants to be the last in the queue.
Yeah, and possibly just wanting the clean air.
Well, you want to be at the front if you wanted the clean air, Lee.
No, like, just to make sure, like, you know, that he's got a big gap, but it doesn't look like that.
He's got one of the Renaults behind him, Veloce Ayub, that's just behind him, and going to see what these drivers can do. Just to remind you, Dark Stomper, 5 place grid penalty, so he may still start in the top 10, but of course if he starts in the top 10, he start in the top 5. Haven't got any drivers starting a lap yet. Pyro, I think, is the first man to start a lap, Lee. So he goes now. Good apex into the final corner to start his lap. Really committed there into the final corner. Wasn't messing about as he rides the bumps down the start finish into turn 1. So this never ending long sweeping right hander gets tighter and tighter the longer you go into it. Into turn 2. This one also really tight on entry. Opens up on exit. And uses the inside curb there, almost does, on the exit. So using a lot of the apex and not getting out wide. Obviously purple sector 1, first man to set a lap. Goes tiny bit deep there, I think, into the hairpin of turn 4 and into 5. And it's easy flat through here. 6, late on the brakes, little jab of the brakes. Just ride the throttle through the corner. Bit of damp brakes there for turn 7. And turn 8, and he's just seen a driver warming up his tyres, and that may have just put him off a little bit there, Lee.
Yeah, Marv has to be careful here as there is people on a lap.
We'll see what Pyro can still do here. I don't think he lifted off. I think he just moved a little bit from left to right. I'm not sure if it would have killed much of his time, but we'll have to see as he takes the hairpin pretty nicely. As he can come around the final corner, he's going to have to be super committed like he was before, and he is. Takes a lot of the curve, doesn't get a track limit violation, and goes fastest, of course, with a 29.7. Sets the benchmark for a lot of these drivers. And McLaren about to cross the line. Tim is next to set a lap, and then it's going to be Mars to set a lap. And it's for Loche Ayub goes second, very, very close. And God's Dark Stomper goes fastest. He's on pole position at the minute, but the way it stands, it'll be Pyro on pole position. And Phoenix just can't finish this lap, but he could have done, but it wouldn't have mattered because he invalidated his lap time as he's pushing the limits of pit lane. And I think he was just having a little practice for the race, Ellie.
Possibly. Either that or he's just wanting to try and get out again as quick as possible, and maybe even if he could, just set 2 laps. But that I'll be cutting it close.
It will, yeah, it will definitely be cutting it close. I think a bit too close, actually, Lee. I think you're probably about 45 seconds off now. You definitely need to be on your out lap now, which he definitely is not, and he's not coming out of the pit. So it looked like it was probably a little bit of a practice pit entry there for the Ferrari driver.
So let's see if anybody here on the lap.
I don't think so. I think they're all on in laps, actually. I wish I had a graphic for in lap, but it's obviously quite hard to tell. You don't know. Don't really know when they're on the late lap. They could be on a cool down lap, but I don't think that will be the case, Lee. So 6 drivers have set times in Q3. 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go in this qualifying session. You're watching Limitless DxT coverage of LFR TNR Tuesday night racing, the Chinese Grand Prix round 12, and make sure you like, share and subscribe to the channel. More content tomorrow as usual from SRM. We're in the Netherlands, land of the orange, Lee. Can't wait to see that later this year, actually, if there are any fans back by then. So I hope so. I'm not sure when Zandvoort is. I think it's sort of in June. I don't think we'll have sellout crowds, but hopefully we'll have quite a few.
Yeah, I'm hoping things get back to normal, and then we could get that atmosphere of F1 back.
Yeah, it's definitely missed, but it's definitely not. I wouldn't say it's as missed as football, for example. It's a lot worse in football. Like, watching a football match is so different without fans. It's almost like a different game.
It doesn't feel right.
No, it doesn't. With F1, you don't. Obviously, you know the fans are there, but you know, to be honest, you never really notice it. You don't hear them really. It's Silverstone you do, to be fair, sometimes, but you don't really notice them too much. We're seeing Mars at the minute on a lap as he's just coming round the final corner. No, he's not going to go around the final corner. He's going to dive into the pit lane. 4.5 minutes to go in this session. Still 4 drivers not set laps, all in the pit lane at the minute. 3 drivers on outlaps, top 2 on outlaps, with 4 minutes 20 to go. And I'm pretty safe to say, Lee, this will be their last laps with time on the clock, unless they're going for 2 laps, which is quite rare to see this in full qualifying. As you've seen Pyro come round the final corner to start his lap, and still has to gain 3/10 to get Dark Stomper, but he will take pole as it stands, with Dark Stomper's a 5-place grid penalty. Not seen anyone else on a lap yet. Dark Stomper just about to cross the line to start his lap, as he does now. We'll stick with Pyro. Says fastest Sector 1. Didn't catch his Delta time there for Sector 1. We'll make sure to do that for Sector 2. He's just a little bit wobbly out of the first of the 2 S's there, into turn 7 and 8, down towards turn 9. We'll check his Delta time as the timing loop comes up now, and he's just over his time lead. He's not improving, and he's pretty close to Veloce for that pole position at the moment, with the Veloce still in the pit lane. Got some comments coming in, Lee.
Yeah, so we've got Curly saying, "Sup guys?" Meeps just was happy with his lap. I think that was his Q1 lap. Fatality saying it was expected rain to be later. Rain weather is dry. Let's see.
Pyro. Sorry, Lee. Pyro does improve 29.568. Very close to Dark Stomper, but got a bit of breathing space to Veloce. Ayu got Velo on a lap with 2 minutes 15 to go in this session. See if he can get into the top 3. If he grabs that second place, Dark Stomper goes faster again. 4/10 faster. 6/10 faster than everyone else now, into the 28.9. Velo about to come across the line, goes second fastest, 29.4 for Velo, and looking like he may take pole position at the minute, and Dark Stomper will be starting in 5th, so not really losing too much, Lee, in the grand scheme of things, as but he would still love that pole position, of course. I'm just on board with Phoenix, Lee.
Yeah, I was going to say the same here. Watching him opening that DRS, that's trying to get as much speed out of it on the straight. Oh, big lock up.
Yeah, and he's struggling. He went down 2 minute gears, went into first gear. Not something you really want to do in these hybrid Formula 1 cars. First gear is really not your friend. And as you can see, probably lost all his time out of the hairpin, and is last of the timing standings. Mars just starting his lap. Massimo into the wall and loses it out of the hairpin of turn 4, and has caused himself a bit of a problem for the race, starting, I would say now, in 10th place, Lee.
Yeah, that's not going to help him going into the race. That's going to hurt his confidence a bit, but
Mars,
hopefully he can spring back.
sorry Lee, Mars going very slow with 20 seconds to go. I don't know what happened to Mars. Something must have happened, and he's going to be down the order at the end of this quali session. Obviously got some drivers out on their final runs. You see Pyro into the wall as well. Everyone's making mistakes in this qualifying session. It has been pretty hectic actually, and just coming back onto the track. Got to make sure to stay out of the way of that Renault, but I think that's Mars not setting a time. Nothing really to worry about. Veloce Ayub is in 4th, and we got Gods on his lap. We got Tim coming into the hairpin, Lee, and I think we're gonna have 3 drivers not setting a lap in Q3.
That's quite rare to see that, to be honest.
It's very rare, as we see Tim coming about across the line. 30.5 to beat 30.4. Doesn't go up on the timing screen, beats his time, but it's not good enough. Obviously Pyro not setting his time, hit the wall. Mars not setting a time because he's going hugely slow. We've got Drismic on a lap. We've only got 2 drivers left on laps now, Lee, so we're going to see what Gods can do as he comes down to the hairpin for the final time in qualifying, and coming around that corner now, takes the curb a little too much for his liking, I suspect. It's got to be committed through the final corner as he comes through to cross the line. 30.2 to beat, goes second fastest. He may take pole position, Lee, in his first race in LFR.
All Mars really has to do is just set a time and jump up a place.
He would jump up a place. He's not. He's going to go into the pits. Drismic goes 8th fastest. But he is. I think he wouldn't have improved anyway, Lee. I think he would have stayed 9th.
Oh, yeah.
So that is the end of qualifying with 2 drivers not setting times. Drismic obviously setting a time in the end and going 8th fastest. But a new pole position, new person on pole in Tuesday Night Racing, and it's our newcomer.
Yeah, so he's came in and shown what he's worth right away.
He definitely has. Obviously, he would usually just be on the front row, and that would still be a very, very good achievement in and of itself. But smashed it, and I'm not sure if he knows about Dark Stomper's 5-place grid penalty, but he's going to be sitting clean and comfortable in that top spot with no one ahead of him at the start of the race, with 19 drivers breathing down his neck, Lee. So the top 10 for this session, Dark Stomper takes first place, but crucially isn't on pole position for this race. Gods is in second, but takes pole position. Second place, but qualifying in 3rd. His fellow 4th, but is going to be in 3rd, is Pyro. Veloce is going to be in 4th, but qualified 5th. 5th will be Dark Stomper. 6th is Tim. 7th is Phoenix. Drismic is in 8th. Mars and Milan did not set times, finishing in 9th and 10th. So we're just going to get ready for the start of this race, Lee. So obviously we had a bit of a mixed conditions race in Monday night last week, which of course we haven't actually mentioned. Veloce Ayub did actually win, but that was a mixed conditions race. But he's had a week and a day before already had a bit of an eye-in on this track. I don't know if he's done it in any other leagues in the past week, but he is definitely certainly one to look out for, starting in 4th place, Lee.
Yeah, I mean, he's proven that he knows this track well. But let's hope he could possibly do it again, maybe. We'll see.
We'll have to see. Obviously, we've got Gods on pole, and he really did pull it out the bag there just to get into 2nd place in qualifying. But obviously, let's see if he knows. He'll know when he readies up, and he'll see there's no one ahead of him. Obviously, we don't know if he caught the 5-place grid penalty. He probably did it at the end of the session, actually, because it does come up. So we're just going to wait for this formation lap now. And it'll be great to know Curly, our Sunday night commentator, is hosting tonight, so no lag on the old lights. So we're going to get a proper start in Tuesday night. So what a treat, Lee. We'll have a look at these tyre situation for a lot of these drivers.
Dark Stomper 6th.
Pink Spartan's been disqualified from the session. Was he still sat on the grid, or
I'm
would you just
not
send him?
sure.
Would you send him a quick message just saying the race is about to start? Because don't want him getting disqualified for not starting. He's starting from the back, I suppose, so not too bad. So sorry, actually, he wasn't starting in 5th, Dark Stumper. My mistake. Starting in 6th. So Tim actually moves up to 5th as well. So, but Gods is on the soft tyres as well. So this is going to be interesting. From 2nd to 6th are all on the medium tyres, Lee. So this will be pretty interesting to see. There is a mix-up in strategies. One hard tyre for Fatality. Obviously going to be trying running long. Starting in 15th place. Must have had another grid penalty somewhere that I didn't notice actually, Lee. Was it H. Bosworth? H. Bosworth, yeah, getting a grid penalty. I think he was gonna.
I think that was with Drs Stomper. Between them two.
Have to see. We've got this big gap to the back of the pack there. You see the Red Bull of Rue, I think. I think it's Rue. Yeah. No, it's Milan Massimo actually. Who is just needs to catch up to the back of the pack, which I think he's just doing now, and we're just going to see Gods have been taken over by the game, set him up on the grid. As you see the pink Spartan who've been disqualified. I'm not sure if he's come back after leaving qualifying, but he will be disqualified if he doesn't pull off on the grid. Let's hope he gets back to his car in time. Starting on the medium tyres, of course. So yeah, we'll see Gods on pole position for the first time with Velo in his 2nd race on the front row alongside him. Here's the pit strategy predictions very, very quickly. Soft, hard, soft, medium, medium is the 2 strategies. So we're just going to wait to see Curly line up on the grid, Lee, and we will get this race underway. We've got 5 lights, and we're away in Tuesday night racing for Chinese Grand Prix, and Gods gets a good start on those soft tyres, and Pyro is alongside Velo into turn 1. They go side by side, and Pello's got the inside line. There's some carnage at the back of the field. I think there's some drivers who have been spun around, or maybe not. This going quite 3 wide into the first corner for some of these drivers towards the back. Veloce and Phoenix, great start for Phoenix actually, moving up a few places here, Lee. He's fighting with Veloce. He's going to have a look down the inside into turn 4, doesn't get the move done, and Veloce still stays in 4th place. Gods still up in 1st. Milan Massimo disqualified from the race is Pink Spartan, so obviously he wasn't able to get back to his car in time. That is a shame. And side by side, Fatality and Raw up a place. He's got to be quite aggressive here, takes the position, gets up into 14th place. God still in the lead, being chased by Velo, 6/10 behind the leader, Lee. That was a very good start of this race, Lee, for the first 3 quarters of this lap.
I'm just watching. Meeps went and moved up 7 places.
Meeps moved up 7 places, but a weave in there between the Ferrari of Phoenix and Dark Stomper. Dark Stomper going to have to make up some places here. He's in 6th. Is he going to have a go to the inside? Not yet. Phoenix braking late, moves a little bit under braking, but it wasn't too much of an issue there. And Dark Stomper trying to get the run, but he's not matching up against those soft tyres. But we'll have a look after the end of lap 1 quickly. Position changes. Phoenix up 2 positions, so Meep up 7 positions, but Meep has just dropped down some there. Or is it just the timing screens that are going strange? I think so. Phoenix going side by side with Dark Stomper through turn 1, and now got a Mercedes on his inside for good measure. Sorry, timing screens are all over the place, which not too sure which drivers are which. I mean, it always does this at the start of the race. We'll go back to the leader of Gods for a second, and still holding the lead. Don't know the times for the minute. Pink Spartan has left the session, so that was unfortunate for the Pink Spartan. Velo still 8/10 behind Gods, but a great start for him. I think we've got the timing screens all back to normal. We got Meep Show, sorry, that was it. Meep Show looking to have a go on Phoenix down the inside. Goes Meeps. What a move from the Mercedes driver. And now Tim is having to go on Phoenix for good measure. All that good work on the first lap. He's now losing it on the second lap. It's Phoenix, and side by side with Tim and Phoenix are now, and he's going to get the move done, I think, into the hairpin. Mars is coming along now. They're going 3 wide down the straight, and Mars is going to look to the outside. Lee on the brakes, and Mars tries to go around the outside. Tim shuts the door, and now Phoenix is fighting back for good measure. This elbow's out at the start of this race. There's no messing about in Tuesday. And there's a big crash, Lee. Phoenix and Mars, it all got a little bit fisticuffs for the start of the race, and it's ended in disaster for some of these drivers.
Mars is out.
Mars isn't out.
Is he not? I thought he was out there.
No, he's not out. He's still in the race. Phoenix is still in. I'm not sure if either of them have got damage, Lee. Phoenix has, front left. He's got a bit of damage. Mars has got away with it, but he's still got some work to do now. He is right. He's just on the back of the pack, as he's got Curly to deal with now. And we'll see if he can get a move done on Curly. As Curly breaks late, and he has to go down the inside. Let's see if he can get the move done. As you've got Pyro in second place now. Lee, crucially, has made the move on Velo. And we'll see if Pyro can keep moving up the pack. We got this front 4 here, Lee. And Mars is in the wall again. What is going on for the Renault driver? What happened there, Lee? Curly's in the wall. It's all going on at the start of this race at the back of the field. But Phoenix is not going to stand for it, and Phoenix is going to look to the inside at the right-hander at the hairpin, and breaks late, but Dopey Lemons holds position. Drismic made a mistake also. Beckett moves up a position, and he's now got Dopey Lemons on his tail for good measure also. And H. Bosworth close to Milan. Massimo H. Bosworth up 7 places, Lee. Cons YT goes through into 16th place with Phoenix in the pits. Don't know what Mars is doing here. Mars into the pits. No damage. Not sure what the Renault man's going to do here. Maybe he is going to pit. Didn't speed into the pit lane though, so not sure if he's going to pit yet. Maybe he can go to the hard tyres, try and go to the end. Medium tyres, front wing change. We did have damage actually, but it didn't actually show he had damage. So front wing change for Mars. Curly into the pits as well, and he's going to fall back into last place. 3/10 separate the top 2. Beckett and Carl. Is Carl been spun round? He has, and Drismic is round as well. And Drismic just got to be careful. Got some drivers right on the outside of the track getting out of the way. We'll just have to keep an eye on some of these cons in the wall. It's all going on, Lee. We've had 4 laps, and we've had a huge amount of drivers struggling on this track. Cons obviously struggling with his new wheel, so we've got to give him that. But we're going to go back to this front battle here, Lee, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers fighting for second place. Well, I would almost
inside of turn 2 or turn 1, sorry. Never touching the rear of Pyro there. He is gunning for that second place at least.
He is gunning for that second place, definitely. Got all these drivers out front that are all very similar pace. It's a shame that Fatality and Mars are not up there as well, because they usually would be, but their races are not going according to plan. But these 5 drivers, any of them could win. Tim isn't too far behind. If they all start racing each other quite hardly, Tim could get right up there as well. And of course Meep having a great start to this race, and he was happy to get some points. I think he's going to be very happy with 7th place actually. He's showing some good pace.
Yeah, I mean, to get up that many places right away, then well done.
I think Veloce is going to have a go. The 3 of them are weaving away, and we're going to go 3 wide into the hairpin. We go too wide with Pyro just ahead. Velo is on the outside, and now he's going to have the inside for the final corner. And I think he's going to be able to make the move stick, is he? He gets the move done. 3 second penalty. Switch back for Veloce. Ayub gets the move back. What a defensive move there. And Dark Stomper just watching it going on. As I said, this is a great thing for Tim. Yellow flag. Another driver been spun round. Looks like an Alpha Tauri of Carl. And yeah, he's been spun round as well. Phoenix not too far behind. Mars is going to have to hope and pray for a safety car. 9/10 on Gods. Gods is now struggling on those soft tyres, Lee.
Yeah, the softs do wear off quite quickly around this track. They don't last that long. Sorry, as you see, Milan and Fatality fighting it out there around turn 5.
Phoenix as well has overtaken Drismic because Drismic is in the pits.
VSC
deployed, but Carl has retired in the pits. He's had enough of this race. VSC has been deployed though. I'm not sure what for. Was it Cons? I'm not too sure. Anyway, virtual safety car deployed. And these guys are all really close. God has got a big gap to the leaders of God, they're all so close into the hairpin. 4 drivers fighting and then to catch up with the leaders. Pyro still in that second place. The reserve driver trying to get some decent points for Alpha Tauri as Gods goes into the pits, gets the car slowed down just in time. Tim's going to move up as well. Meep Show into the pits. These soft runners are all having to come in pretty early, Lee, as Pyro and Veloce round turn 2, and Pyro's fighting very hard. He needs to be careful as a reserve not to fight too hard. Ayub has spun, and that's, I don't know if he's got any damage from that. He hasn't. He's got away with that, but Pyro needs to be careful. He needs to not he as being a reserve driver, I don't think he should be fighting so hard for these positions.
Yeah, he's not getting any points from him. You should still be careful regardless.
Yeah, of course. But I just think, you know, don't ruin it for the full-time drivers, is what I would say. Because obviously, obviously, it's brilliant seeing a reserve coming in a race. We've got no issue with that at all. But, you know, we don't want him fighting too hard and then causing other drivers to maybe cause them to spin off. Potentially, not saying that is what happened, I didn't actually catch it, but you know, you never know. But anyway, Dark Stomper going to go into second place, and he might win this race once again. Velo late on the brakes. Dark Stomper gives him just enough space on the outside, but Velo wasn't able to take back the position. H. Bosworth going down the inside on Veloce. Ayub. Fatality on the inside of Rue as well. The action's all going on at the hairpin.
You see, Phoenix has just got past Cons there at the banking.
And Veloce back through into 5th place just before the braking zone of turn 1, and he's able to make it stick through turn 1. This really long right-hander, and Dark Stomper 4/10 behind Pyro now, and I think Pyro is probably going to lose this position for the pace. Potentially these two ahead, behind. I think. We'll have to see down the next DRS straight. We'll just put it on for a minute. We'd like to see a bit more of the screen. We have got Dark Stomper and Pyro. Very similar battery. Velo a little bit lower battery. But obviously the aid of DRS is going to help Dark Stomper, of course, Lee.
Yeah, I mean, with how close they are, I'm expecting Dark Stomper to go for the overtake at going into the hairpin. He is going for that.
He's definitely trying to go for it, and I think he is going to go to it. He's going to have to go to the outside. outside. He's going to go for a lunge down the inside. He doesn't. He was just a little bit too far back. See if he has a go into turn 1. And going to be getting a little bit of dirty air out of the final corner using that battery. And he still might have a go into turn 1, of course. Obviously this corner is really long. And this could be fought out all the way to turn 4.
Yeah, it is easy to go side by side for the whole sector 1 here. Just with constant twisting and corners.
He's very close there. I'm surprised he didn't actually think about having a go into the hairpin there, but he decided better of it. Velo sticking very close behind Tim, dropping back just a little bit from these front runners. But Pyro still holding up a very good defence of this lead as we're on lap 9 of 28 in this Tuesday night racing of Limitless Formula Racing. You're watching Limitless DxT coverage, and we're watching Pyro and Dark Stomper and Velo fighting for first place, with Pyro still leading the race and not had to hold up, not had to lose the position just yet. 7/10 separate the top 2, and Dark Stomper not gonna have a fight of it. Velo has used up a lot of his battery now. Just gonna have a look for God, still in 11th place, gone on the hard tyres, and is struggling a little bit, Lee.
Dark Stomper's into the pits.
Dark Stomper into the pits, very interesting. Only used 9 laps on those tyres, and Pyro has got a bit of a gap.
Going on to the hards.
And he's going on to the hards also. Gods goes through, and at the moment is in net first place. He's got Dopey Lemons just ahead of him. He needs to clear him quite quickly. He's got a bit of clear air there. Then from there on, it's been a pretty decent 10 laps so far, Lee. Quite a lot of drama and some overtakes to boot as well.
Yeah, it's been quite what would be the word? Quite dramaful and eventful, to be honest.
Dramatic so far.
Dramatic.
Dramatic, that's the word. We've got Raw just behind Fatality. Fatality now up to 6th on those hard tyres. Remember to keep an eye out for him. Dopey Lemon, 3-second time penalty. 5/10 separate Velo and Pyro. Pyro's used a lot of battery now in this defence. Not surprised, and this is going to be helping Gods and Dark Stomper, I think, these two fighting at the front.
Yeah, it's going to help him with the undercut.
They're staying out. They're both staying out for at least another lap. Gods is now overtaken Dopey Lemons. Dark Stomper now needs to clear him.
His tyres are just fresh as he goes wide the last corner there. He loses a little bit of time.
So interestingly, it's just said the pit window is now open for the medium tyres. So some of those drivers pitted early, especially Dark Stomper pitted a little bit early. Yellow flag once again.
Dopey Lemon
Yeah.
loses a bit of traction there, and Dark Stomper has made the move going into turn 5. That is fortunate for him. Now he's hopefully going to get right in the back of Dodge. He's still within the DRS range. He's going to want to be staying there. His tyres are a few laps younger than Dodge. So he's hopefully he could use that to his advantage as he is gaining on Dodge quite quickly.
As we just go back to Pyro, and Velo still in first and second, still in the same positions. Veloce Ayub goes down the inside of Tim. They're side by side out of the hairpin, coming down towards the final corner into the pits, the top two. And Tim has to let him through because Veloce is now into the pits. Tim is now going to take the lead of this Chinese Grand Prix, and Pyro and Velo are in the pits. I'm assuming Pyro is going to get out in front of Velo, but you never know.
No.
As he does, we're just going to see where's Gods. He's just coming out the pitch just ahead. Where's Dark Stomper? He's now actually ahead of Gods. So Dark Stomper has now got up to the net lead of this race. Good strategy for Dark Stomper, just to get a bit of clear air and beat them on the pit stops.
Yeah, he's managed that.
Drismic and Con side by side at the hairpin, and Drismic, this is a fight for 15th place. Cons is on the outside, they touch, and no damage doing, no spins so far as they're going side by side again into turn one. They need to be careful, and Drismic just goes ahead of Cons YT and takes 15th position. We still have 18 runners in this race. Blue flags for Curly Mars, having a bit of a shocker in this race. Velo and Dopey Lemons into the banking lead. Side by side they go, and Velo takes the position and gets DRS for good measure, but we're going to see if Dopey Lemons can do anything with this toe. Nothing as of yet. H. Bosworth, Tim into the pits. Fatality now takes the lead on those hard tyres. Now imagine if there was a safety car in a lap or two's time. Fatality would be in a serious bit of luck there. 10 seconds for Curly for exceeding track limits. 5 seconds for Meep speeding in the pit lanes. I'm not too sure there. Curly into the pits, and Tim right on the back of Meep Show. Curly has retired from the race. 17 drivers remaining in this race, Lee.
Yeah, there's a few battles still going.
There is a fight for the lead between Raw and Fatality. Raw is yet to pit, but obviously these two are not technically in the lead, as they have not done their pit stop yet. So our net leader is Dark Stomper in 4th place, getting close to the back of Beckett in 3rd place. We still have a yellow flag in sector 1, and I think that is Curly's Williams, who retired in the pits, but sometimes they do come out of the pit lane. Tim is on the back of Meep Show. Now Gods has been overtaken by Pyro. There's battles all over the place here.
Losing the pits, and also Dark Stomper up 2nd place now. He makes the move on Beckett.
Pyro looks to go around the outside of Gods. They're going to go side by side into turn 1. The move looks like it's done on the braking into turn 1. Veloce Ayub is overtaking Raw now as he's coming out of the pits. And he looks like he's going to drop right in front of his teammate, actually, of Milan Massimo. So Red Bull 12th and 13th. See if there's many close battles in the field. 2 it looks like. Battle for 4th and a battle for 9th between Meep Show and Tim. I'll keep an eye on Godsley, keep an eye on the other one for see how that gets on, as we're looking with Gods as you can see on board, and he's got Pyro ahead of him, Beckett ahead of him, but Beckett of course is going to have given Pyro DRS, which he has, and going to see if he makes an overtake yet. I don't think he's going to. He's going to get a lot closer though. 5 seconds, 5.5 seconds separate the top two with fatality yet to pit. Veloce arguably goes in front of Dopey Lemons. Big kick of oversteer. H. Bosworth down the inside of Meep Show. Meep Show being squeezed to the outside, now in 11th place. Up to 10th place is H. Bosworth. Dopey Lemons into the pit lane.
Also, Meep Show looking to make a comeback on H. Bosworth. He's looking down the inside of turn 1.
He does look down the inside of turn 1. He goes very deep. There is a bit of contact between the two of them. Bit of contact again. And they're still going to go side by side, I think, all the way up to the hairpin. But I think, oh, H. Bosworth late on the brakes down around the outside. And they're still going side by side. Racing Point versus Mercedes into the S's. China still side by side, but Meep gets the move done round the outside. Great racing between H. Bosworth and the reserve of Meep Show. Our reserve Monday night commentator Raw on H. Bosworth as well. Velo has got past Gods at the banking. Velo seems like a move there at the banking with Gods, sorry, getting the DRS as well as Velo. And got Beckett just ahead. Make sure they don't want to hit him into the braking zone. Tries to switch back. Does Gods now. It's just great racing at the front of this pack, Lee.
I was busy watching Meep and Tim and Drew there. H. Bosworth all battling there for a bit.
Velo round the outside of Beckett, almost contact. Gods goes down the inside of Beckett as well. Ooh. And double move on Beckett, and that is very unlucky for the Alfa Romeo driver. So, lap 16 of 28 in this Chinese Grand Prix of Limitless Formula Racing, Tuesday night racing. And you're watching, as I said earlier, on Limitless DxT coverage. As I said, we'll just say, trying to get to 100 subscribers for the end of the season. I think we're on 88. So if you could hit that red button to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated from all of us at LFR and Limitless DxT and other leagues that you catch on the channel. H. Bosworth, Lee, 6/10 behind Rue. Rue is 4/10 behind Meep Show. That is definitely a battle to keep an eye on. Velo has pulled a little bit of a gap on Gods now, with the Gods on those older tyres. And go on,
just coming around the bank in there.
Fatality into the pits, Lee. Dark Stomper will now take the lead.
Sorry, Rue's making a move on Meep. He's got the DRS and he gets it done.
Does cut in front of him. That was just a slight bit of sketchiness. Medium tyres for Fatality. Didn't want to go a bit longer, and I think he's probably going to come out in this battle for 9th place, Lee, would be my guess, as they're all coming down the start finish. He's at the pit exit now, and yeah, just comes out behind, literally just behind this pack. So this is going to be a tasty battle to tuck into in a minute, Lee.
Yeah, I mean, he's on the fresh medium.
Phoenix into the pits for the final time. We'll see if Velo can catch up to Pyro. It's Phoenix overtaken by Drismic now, and he's going to come out side by side with Cons YT. He does, and side by side the pit lane goes to Ferrari and the Haas, and Phoenix takes the position, and I think he'll be able to pull away. I suppose certainly he'll be able to pull away as Cons is on 16 lap old mediums, so those tyres will definitely be a bit of a handful, I think, now, Lee.
Yeah, they will be starting to wear off, but
H. Bosworth. Yeah, they're going to go side by side into the hairpin. And you've got Meep Show on the rear of both of them as well. Just letting them know he's still there as Meep dives into the pit lane. Interesting call from the reserve driver.
He nearly spun it going into the pits there.
He did, so I wonder why he's come into the pit. Surely he could have got to the end potentially. No front wing change. No, that is just a strategy call from each show. So strange one. Only he will know what's going on with that. We'll see where he comes out. I think he's going to come out ahead of, yeah, he's going to come out comfortably ahead of his teammates in 13th place. He's got some time to make up. Veloce Ayub is right on the back of Beckett and is going to want to get this done quickly to try and catch up to Gods in 4th place. As we're going to see Veloce going around the outside at the banking as he gets tucked in behind the Alfa Romeo and tries to get a bit of extra top speed, and which he does, and goes into 5th place. Got a bit of a gap to Gods, who's now down in 4th, and Velo still very close behind Pyro. Lee, I think
doing the switchback there, going around the hairpin. That was a beautiful move there. Sorry, that was unexpected. Just the amount of speed that Fatality gained on route.
So soft tyres for Beckett. He's going to come out a little behind Milan Massimo. We'll see if we can catch up. It is entirely possible we can make that gap up on the soft tyres. We'll have to wait and see. The only man now on the soft tyres at the end of this race. That gap still being held at about 2.5 seconds to Pyro. In the DRS window, Velo is now, and taking a purple sector 2 for good measure as well, Lee. And he has got a time penalty to his name though of 3 seconds.
Yeah, it is always unfortunate when you've got the like time penalty or something, because you know you've got that 3 seconds extra that you need to claw back, so it's giving you even less time. So that's going to be weighing down on at the moment.
As I said, in the DRS window is Pyro. We're now on lap 20 of 28, around just over 2/3 into this race now, and very, very close. Fatality though, Lee, is getting a pretty impressive performance here. 6th place is looking like a realistic position here for Fatality.
Yeah, it's I mean, he's just put in the fastest lap there, so he certainly is the quickest out there at the moment. You see big lock up from Tim there going into turn 5. That's going to be impact on him, seeing Fatality in his mirrors.
We will have to wait and see what Fatality can do. 2/10 separate 2nd and 3rd now, and I think Pyro is going to have to defend against Velo. And a bit of a late move from Pyro there. Was a bit of aggressive on the defending there, and takes the position into 2nd place. Goes Velo. Hard, but pretty much fair there, Lee, from Pyro, and left enough space. Pyro, 3-second time penalty. They're on an even keel now, Lee, and Fatality overtakes Tim as well.
He's coming back. Out the outside. Oh,
Looked like a bit of contact. And Velo has the inside, squeezes to the outside, and he's going to try and hang it out round the outside. Velo and Pyro still holding on to the position, still side by side. But always a little switch between the drivers. What racing going on here? There's top quality driving between the two of them. Velo is now on the inside, and he's going to take second place. But this fight is really hotting up now, Lee, with these 2 3-second time penalties. And of course, Gods could get back in here as well. Sorry, Lee. Gods could get back in here as well with these 2 time penalties.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, who's that?
Mars has retired from the race, and safety car is deployed, and on lap 21. So we're going to only get about 3 or 4 laps of racing left.
This has played right into Collins' hands. He's not even made a pit stop yet. He's just made it now. But he's going to have to work all the way back up there.
And he hasn't been lapped either. He's just on the verge of being lapped by his teammate. And as I said, this has worked out spot on for Cons, as he will be allowed to pass the safety car. We'll just double check that one. Safety car is waiting on the exit of turn 3, or on around turn 3. As you see, Drismic is overtaking him as well. Cons up and slow down for Delta. So we'll just see now. There's safety car. Oh, Cons disqualified. I honestly, I have a feeling that was to do with Dark Stomper, actually, because Dark Stomper overtook him. That is a big shame for Cons.
Especially with them being teammates as well.
He's still going though.
That's weird. How do you see he's disqualified then?
He hasn't been disqualified though. Maybe he isn't disqualified.
This game, seriously.
Well, no, he's definitely not been disqualified, because he would have been out of the race by now. And if he's going to go through, yeah, he's not been disqualified. So just ignore that. Cons is still in this race, which I thought he would be. I thought Dark Stomper overtaking him just at the safety car would have been an issue, but we'll hopefully see if Cons can catch up Lee, crucially.
Possibly. I mean, shouldn't take too long.
We'll see. We're on lap 22, about to go into lap 23. It'll probably come into... Yeah, we'll probably get 4 laps at the end. It's probably going to come in at lap 25, would be my guess.
Possibly, yeah. I would say about that.
So we will have to see. Beckett is into the pits. Interesting call. He's not going to fall to the back though, crucially. We'll just see where he does come out, because you've got some drivers coming down to the hairpin, down the back straight. And we will have to see.
I think he's going to come out in 12th place.
And crucially, Lee, Fatality is in 3rd place.
Oh, Jesus!
That one slipped through the net, because Gods and Veloce both pit, as well as Pyro for the soft tyres. This has now made things very, very tasty for the for the end of this race. You've had your 2 courses. Now get ready for dessert, as we're about to get into this race. Consway T into the pits. Now I think that is a wrong decision from Cons, because the safety car might come in.
Maybe.
He's the only driver not to catch up. It might give him one more lap, but he's going to have to push. As they're just coming up to the banking now. We've got Drismic still to catch up to the pack. So it's not going to come in this lap, so we're going to run another lap. I think we're going to start lap 25, would be my guess. And so we'll have 4 laps left. We'll have 2 laps of DRS to decide this winner. 3 drivers out of the top 4 on time penalties. We've got Pyro and Roo switching positions there. Need to be careful of that. Safety car in this lap with Drismic catching up to the field, and that is not a good call for Dark Stomper, as this is going to be a very, very slow trickle here to let the safety car get away, and we'll see when he gets going. As he's not going yet, he's not obliged to till he gets to the line. He puts his foot down and we're away on lap 24. We're going to have 5 laps to the end of this race, with Cons YT not able to catch up to the back of the pack, unfortunately, with Dark Stomper going in to turn 1, still in the lead. Going to keep an eye out for drivers like Pyro on the soft tyres. Roo and Pyro down the inside on the Red Bull of Roo, and takes 5th place. H. Bosworth goes through as well, and Pyro now up to 4th.
Ayu's getting past Roo here at turn 5 here.
And Ayu has got through as well, and he's going to have to push to get past H. Bosworth. Milan Massimo going around Meep Show. I don't know why a lot of these drivers didn't all pit for the soft tyres, but Meep Show fighting back and getting a good defence there. Side by side goes Gods and Raw. We had some fantastic racing here today, Lee.
Yeah,
Meep Show down the inside on Roo, side by side, bit of wheel banging between the two of them. Meep Show. Milan is also looking to get involved. Beckett and Milan side by side, and Gods goes past H. Bosworth, but they're still fighting together. No team orders here at Racing Point, and Veloce late on the brakes onto towards Tim, and Pyro getting past Fatality side by side. Pyro and Fatality go. Fatality still stays in a 3rd place. Drismic 5-second time penalty for cutting corners. 5/10 separate the top 2, but no penalties for Dark Stomper. Crucially, that 25 of 29 in this Chinese Grand Prix.
We've seen here that the Pyro is making a move on Fatality around turn 5. Is he going to make it stick?
And Veloce is making a move on Tim and squeezing him off the track. That was Max Verstappen. Charles Leclerc overtaking, however, I saw when Fatality still holding on to 3rd place. He's earned this 3rd place today, and he is not letting anyone take it away from him.
Dopey Lemons is in the wall.
Dopey Lemons, as Lee says, is in the wall, and some damage there. Cons and Phoenix also in the wall. Not a great restart for these drivers, and I think DRS will be enabled at the end of the next lap. Pyro still looking for an overtake on Fatality, gonna have to go round the long way, and tries to brake later on those soft tyres. Switcheroo for Pyro at the hairpin. Fatality though crucially going to have the inside line for the next corner. Tries to go wheel to wheel, and did have to try and make he did have to give it that position. Meep into 9th place now, and God's close to the back of Tim. Veloce going down the inside on Pyro, and the soft tyre drivers are fighting it out and trying to get up onto the rostrum in this race. Veloce crucially as well, no time penalties, and I don't know who's going to win this race. It's close between the front runners as well, the front 2, but as I said, Dark Stomper, Veloce, no time penalties for the pair of them. but these hard runners, Lee, still got a bit of grip.
Yeah, I mean, the hards don't fall off quite as easy, but the softs do, for some reason. So it's just like that, really, you know.
Yeah, well, Fatality, I think he's looking pretty comfortable. Phoenix out of this race, only got 15 drivers now, 5 out of this race. Beckett is overtaking Rue into right towards the banking. We'll go back to the front runners, and so they're all pretty close. And Veloce trying to go down the inside on Pyro. What a move from the Renault driver, but the switchback for the Alpha Tauri, and Veloce trying this way and that way, and nothing doing for the Renault driver, but balls to the wall on that move, but wasn't able to make them balls stick. So we're just seeing Fatality still holding on to that third place, Lee, and we're going to have to talk about driver of the day for the last couple of laps as well. And I'm certainly thinking Fatality may be getting this driver of the day for the moment.
Yeah, I'd have to say Fatality has been one of the strongest here today. I mean, to be able to come from, what was it, 15th on the grid to 3rd, it's just been brilliant strategy.
Racing points side by side, and they're going to go side by side here. I think there's going to be a collision. H. Bosworth is round, and I could see that coming all day long, and that was slightly unfortunate for H. Bosworth. Meep and Beckett still fighting together closely. We'll get back to the front runners. Veloce 3/10 behind Pyro. No battery for Pyro. Left the door open, and Veloce is gone through. Late on the brakes is Pyro though, and Veloce is being very aggressive, and Veloce up into 4th place. No penalties though. 5/10 separate the top 2. We're on to the final lap, Lee. Dark Stomper still leading this race.
Is constantly looking for any which way past Veloce there. He's giving it his all, even though it doesn't look like it. Oh, getting right on the gearbox there, going into turn 5 there.
6/10 separate the top 2. I said no penalties. No penalties though for Dark Stomper. I'm not going to say he's looking like he's going to win just yet, as they're all so close together. But Fatality can still get 2nd. He just needs to push like mad with the last few corners.
I've just looked at penalties, to be honest.
Meep Show, Rue and Beckett all fighting together for 8th place, but we're just going to get back to the front quickly. I'm not sure if there's going to be any moves into the final couple of corners. Doesn't look like it. And but what it does look like, Lee, is Dark Stomper is going to win once again, and he takes the win in the Chinese Grand Prix with Veloce coming home in 2nd place, with Velu in 3rd. We've got Milan Massimo, Beckett and Meep Show trying to fight for 9th place, and Beckett crosses the line, and Meep just finishes outside the points. And what a finish to that race, Lee.
Yeah, that was incredible. I went and seen, I think it was Meep Show, Rue and Beckett there, like at the hairpin, like proper 3 wide going around it, and it was just incredible there. Everybody was just giving it their all right for them last couple of laps. That's what I want to see. That's Formula 1.
That was great racing. I do have to say, Tuesday night for me has just been getting better and better and better, and these top guys have all been fighting together really well. We've got a couple more comments coming in, Lee. Driver of the day, fatality, no shadow of a doubt there. Great result. I think he got, we'll just check in a second, I think he got 4th place in the end of that race. Shame he, yeah, 4th place. Shame he didn't get on the podium. But the Dark Stomper once again winning again, and I just didn't think he was actually going to get that to stick today, but of course he does get it to stick once again. And our 2nd place in the championship, Veloce Ayub taking 2nd place, so he's still in with a shout, but Dark Stomper is just creeping more and more and more away as we hit the half point in this championship. So we'll just go to the results. So yeah, Dark Stomper winning once again. I'll have to check it. I'll check in a second actually how many wins he's had this season. Veloce Ayub is in 2nd, Velo is in 3rd, our reserve Pyro is in 4th with a great race in Tuesday night. Fatality is in 5th, 6th is God, 7th is Milan Massimo, 8th is Beckett, Rue is 9th, Tim is 10th. Fatality got 5th place. 11th is Meep Show, 12th is H. Bosworth, Dopey Lemons is 13th, 14th was Cons YT, Drismic was the last man to cross the line, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th and 20th all didn't finish this race. The Pink Spartan didn't even start this race, and yeah, that is it for Tuesday night racing. We'll have a couple of interviews in a couple of minutes with Veloce, Dark Stomper and Velo. We'll just sort that out. Would you be able to sort that out, Lee, actually? Brilliant. So we'll just have an interview with them for 5 or 10 minutes and get their reactions. Bear me a second, Lee. We'll get this started in a minute, mate. I've just got to do something a sec.
Okay.
Keep everyone entertained, talk to people in the comments, whatever. Just give me 2 minutes.
Yep. Let's see. Let's see, we're just waiting to see if we can get any interviews. I'm not sure at the moment. Oh, we've got Dark Stomper here. 2 seconds, guys.
I'm back. So we've got Dark Stomper here, right? So is the other two wanting to join for an interview?
Ayub's not. Doesn't look like it. Looks like we're only gonna have yourself, Brandon, so have you got
Yeah.
your audio settings? Brandon, you there? Yeah.
Just check on the stream there if you would quickly. Just mute your mic. Dart, would you just talk a second? Just check your mic's working. If not, we will just leave it. We'll just see. You checking there?
No, that's not working.
Okay. Right, anyway, sorry, 'cause I know you're on your phone, Brandon, so I just don't think it will work on your phone. Anyway, yeah, well done, mate. Obviously, no one can hear you, but well done for that, buddy. Anyway, yeah, so tomorrow night, SRM Racing, round 5, Dutch Grand Prix. I don't think we're doing any tea time for the time being, not every week. Anyway, and then we're back on Sunday for... I usually have them all in my head. This week it's not rolling off the tongue. Lee, on Sunday we have the US Grand Prix for Sunday night racing. Monday we have Russia. Tuesday we have Canada. So tune in for all of them. Obviously check me and Lee out tomorrow night for SRM. Make sure to like, share and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the Chinese Grand Prix with us tonight. And yeah, thanks. So from me it's goodbye, and from Lee